Enjoy the convenience of 7 days a week banking and extended hours with Cube from First Arkansas Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. It's time for From the Short Grass with Trey Schaap, a golf podcast for those who love golf, struggle with golf, and just like to enjoy the outdoors and fellowship with friends, all while chasing a ball around trying to put it in a 4 1/4 inch diameter hole. From the Short Grass is brought to you by Stephens Incorporated, an independent financial services firm with the freedom to focus on what matters most. Blackman Auctions. For over 80 years, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels. We partner with you to deliver high-yield results by managing, developing, and investing in top-quality hospitality assets. And now, from the Short Grass, here is your host, Trey Schaap.
Welcome to another edition of From the Short Grass. I am your host, Trey Schaap. I hope you're having a great summer. I know school is getting started and colleges are going to start soon. And so I thought with this episode, let's go to the college ranks. Let's bring in the new head coach of the University of Central Arkansas Bears, Austin Eoff. Now, Austin and I have played in some amateur events before, lost quite a few of those amateur events to Austin Eoff, as he was a talented amateur player and still is a talented player to this day. He was the assistant golf coach at Purdue after one season as an assistant coach at Rutgers after he finished his collegiate eligibility at Purdue, and he took over at UCA this summer. So I think you're going to enjoy my interview with Austin Eoff. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels. One of their great properties is the Haywood down in El Dorado. I recently had a chance to spend a couple of nights down there while playing Mystic Creek in the state match play. Congratulations to Palmer McSpadden, by the way, a member of Austin Eoff's golf team at UCA, for winning the match play championship this season. But my stay at the Haywood was awesome. They are pet friendly, and you can find out more about them. Go to bphotels.com, Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, and the Haywood, a great sponsor of From the Short Grass. We're back with more after this. Stay with us.
This is Thomas Blackman with Blackman Auctions. The economy is changing slowly but surely. The market is slowing down in a gradual slide. Not an emergency yet, the sky is not falling, but a change is coming. When times are good, auctions make buyers compete to buy at the highest market value. When the economy gets tough, auctions force buyers to make a purchase decision. Either way, auctions get the highest return for a seller and a strong deal for a buyer. With an experienced auction company, it's a simple process. Go to blackmanauctions.com for more information. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
Strength is measured not by the number of accounts. Strength is placing value on relationships. It's having the vision and the guts to invest in growth. It's the commitment to responsibly manage your money. At Stephens, we believe that our strengths build success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stephens, member NYSE, SIPC.
With all the decisions you need to make about what to do in El Dorado, finding a place to stay is an easy one. The Haywood is uniquely positioned to make your stay one to treasure. Located in the historic Union Square district of El Dorado, the Haywood offers luxurious accommodations that feature contemporary, colorful rooms with high-quality bedding, comfortable baths with walk-in showers, and a spacious workspace with stylish plantation shutters that are unique additions to the stunning decor in a non-smoking environment. Make the Haywood your home away from home the next time you visit El Dorado.
Welcome back to From the Short Grass. I am Trey Schaap. On the tee, two-time Arkansas State Amateur Champion and current UCA men's golf coach, Austin Eoff. Austin, thanks for joining me on From the Short Grass. Good to see you. Good to have you back in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been, I guess, 9 years since I was in high school, and that was the last time I was really back for an extended period of time.
I was going to say high school at Benton. You're a Benton Panther and a very decorated amateur golfer. And after high school, you decided to go to West Lafayette, Indiana, Purdue University. Why Purdue?
I valued the education side a lot. So I was kind of looking at schools, I guess, in that tier academically, kind of Stanford, Purdue, along those lines. And then went up there for a visit and just fell in love with the facilities, and the golf courses are both really good, both there on campus. I just fell in love with that, and I'm kind of a golf nerd and grinded out of the dirt, and it was just a really good setup for me, and it ended up working out pretty well.
Most famous athlete from Purdue, who is it?
Drew Brees. Yeah.
Are there nines all over campus up there?
Yeah. He's big time, especially in the athletics side. He's done a lot for the whole athletic department, building buildings, donating for buildings. Just he's the man, and everybody knows it and looks up to him, and everybody up there cheers for the Saints, and it's just, or the Colts, but he's a big deal. Every time he comes back, it's the biggest show in town, and he's really supportive.
Now you're getting the head position at UCA. What's that been like, that trek towards becoming a head golf coach?
It's been good. I've been fortunate, I guess I would say. I got to start right out of school at Rutgers for 1 year as the assistant, and in the Power 5 coaching, I just thought that, that was a lucky position to get, partially from just being in the Big Ten playing and then knowing their coach a little bit. And then he was looking to add an assistant for the first time, and kind of got lucky into that job, really. It's just all about connections and knowing the right people, I feel like. And, so I got lucky to start kind of at the highest level almost, I guess you would say. I mean, assistant in the Power 5. And then a year later, my assistant that I played under at Purdue left to be the head coach at College of Charleston. And then, I got lucky to come back again to Purdue, just kind of the way the chips fell. And, I've learned under the head coach at Rutgers and then my old coach at Purdue, and got to learn under both of them. And it's been really beneficial. I've gained more and more responsibility every year at Purdue, just doing different things, running different events, recruiting, learning under him. He's a really good instructor on the swing side of things. And so kind of learning under him, continuing to build and grow. And then, I felt like this year we had a really good team, and I was ready to kind of go out on my own and see what I can do. And the job at UCA came open, and it was really appealing to me to be able to come back home, kind of rebuild the program, and get it back to where it should be.
What were the conversations with athletic director Brad Teague like?
Really good. I mean, outside of the job being a head coaching job, I mean, was a big part of me taking the job. I mean, we got along, kind of hit it off right away. I came down here on the visit and really enjoyed all the people that worked there. I think that that's important. Both places I've worked at, the people have been great, and I just think that that's really important from my side of things. And then from there, he's a really big golfer. I think that that's important too. Anytime your boss is really into the sport that you're working with, I think that that's a really big benefit. And so it just worked out really well. Came back, the visit was great, and just got the job and was really excited to get going.
Has your boss told you about the week vacation that he takes around the 1st of April?
He has, yeah. He told me a little bit about that, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I mean, you've got a boss that's a marshal at Augusta, for the Masters. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And he gets to go play it every year because he's a marshal at Augusta.
Exactly.
Growing up, when did you first pick up a golf club?
Probably around 3 or 4. Some kids went to daycare. I went to Long Hills with my grandpa and played golf about 3 times a week with him and his 2 other buddies, and had a good time.
Jeff Ham.
Yeah, Jeff Ham.
Long Hills. I mean, the changes that have been made down there, but back in the day, it was
booming.
It was. It was a flat track. I mean, a couple of hills, but not many. Small greens.
Yeah, a lot of good players. Back then, out of Benton, a lot of good players. Mostly, kind of, I was the youngest of all of them, really, but which I think helped me. But a lot of good players right in there in that area.
What did you learn by being able to go there with your grandfather and play against some of those older gentlemen?
Well, I learned to never 3-putt. He was big on do not 3-putt at whatever cost. So, I think putting is one of my strengths of my game now, and I'm sure that that's part of it. But but also just the competition side outside of kind of playing with him and playing for fun. And we'd play the last hole and see who had to buy the coffee for the old guys in the clubhouse. But then playing with my brother's friends and just being the youngest kid and trying to beat those guys, and it just made me really competitive. I mean, I'm an incredibly competitive person now, and some of that's probably all stemmed from that, just being the young kid and not wanting to lose and trying to show them what I got.
I had to grow up fast, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, unless you wanted to just lose and get picked on all day, but yeah, pretty much.
You were a very talented junior golfer. What do you think stood out in your junior career, if you will?
I had a lot of support from back home. My dad did a lot. He traveled a lot from work, and then if he wasn't traveling for work, he was traveling with me. So, he did a lot for me and my golf. My grandfather did a lot. My whole family really, but from the support side was kind of all there. And my brother played, but didn't quite get to the same level, and just the support and everything from everyone in my family was really big. And then I worked hard and got better. I think that when I won state in 9th grade, that was kind of an eye-opener because I was still playing basketball. I'm a huge sports fan and a huge basketball fan. And, after that happened, my freshman year of high school, I quit basketball and just focused on golf. And so really that tournament would be the one that kind of set it apart and kind of was like, okay, I need to do this because this is a better path. So, and then from there, I just kept getting better. I won the next 2 years for 6A state, and it just all worked out well. Played well in some national events and got recognized, and that's how I ended up getting to Purdue. They saw me in one of those, and everything just kind of worked out.
And then after your junior career, when you were at Purdue, you still came back and played in some prestigious tournaments here in the state. You wanted to come back and play in those, and being a resident, you were afforded that opportunity, and you won quite a bit as well.
Yeah. I tried to come back and play for sure in the state am, and won that a couple times. Had a couple really good battles in both of them, and played in lots of men's events, Eagle Hill and Pine Bluff, and a lot of those. And then if I was here, I would play the match play. I thought that, I really enjoy being in Arkansas. There's usually the state am and state match player on some really good courses, and I thought that it was a good challenge, and I thought that was important. I typically tried to kind of make sure and see where they fell in with kind of like the Southern Am and the Western Amateur, and if I qualified for the US Am, and usually they worked out, and so it worked out really well to be able to kind of play in the big events in the state.
You're a 2-time state amateur champion. Which one sticks out the most, if there is just one?
I mean, I guess the one at Hot Springs may stick out more just because I played better. The one at CCLR was the first one, and I kind of played really bad the final day and got kind of fortunate to get in the playoff. Still won, but it was a good learning experience at CCLR. And then I felt like from there, then at Hot Springs, I kind of played really well each day. It was pretty funny. I remember after the first round, I shot 69, and being the immature kid that I was, I went in to sign my scorecard, and the lady signing the scores was like, "Oh, great round, you shot 69." And I was like, "Well, if I shoot 69 2 more times, I'm going to lose." And she kind of looked at me and kind of laughed, and I was irritated because I thought I could have shot better the first round. And then I shot 68, 67, or maybe vice versa. And then that only got me in a playoff. So, just competitive and kind of in the moment after the round. And, but I would guess the Hot Springs one, I played really good for 3 rounds and got it done with a birdie on 18 to win, or otherwise it would have been another playoff. So,
do you think winning those 2 AMs at CCLR and Hot Springs Country Club, the Arlington course, that growing up and playing Long Hills helped you, because those are 2 golf courses that the green complexes are not very large?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a combination. I think that, the Arlington, even more so, they're both pretty scoreable. I'm a long hitter, and I try to take advantage of that at every possibility. I'm going to hit driver on holes like 5 at Arlington, and holes like, on CCLR on holes like 10, 11. So like 13, I think, drivable. Mm-hmm. So holes like that, I'm some guys might hit 5-iron or 4-iron down there. I'm going to go for the green. So I think that some of the strategy stuff as well, just, knowing you need to make birdies and making those birdies and hitting driver when other guys may not hit it and kind of it paying off from being aggressive.
Were you able to drive number 5 on the Arlington or number 14 at CCLR in any of those rounds?
Yeah, I drove it. I did it on CCLR, and then on Arlington, I don't think I quite got there any of the rounds, but I would hit driver as well on 15 as well on Arlington, and not tons of people do it, but if you pay it off, then it really makes a whole lot easier. So I think that just being aggressive from growing up at Long Hills and hitting driver on holes like 1, 2, and 4 out there and trying to drive the green is kind of helped.
I think watching you play, and I've competed against you quite a few times, I always thought this guy has it. I think he could make it onto the PGA Tour if he tried. Why did you not try?
I got a little burnt out, honestly, which sounds crazy going to a cold climate school. I didn't take days off ever, to my demise, I guess, but I got a little burnt out. I still love to play. I play with all our guys. I'll get to play with the guys at UCA after some time getting to know them, but so I still love the game. I just got a little burnt out, I guess, from the grind side. I guess just grinded too hard for too long and just got tired of the practice side a little bit, but still love the game and wanted to be around it. I think going through that has helped me coach. Mm-hmm. Just understanding kind of you need to take breaks and take some time off, even if it's in season, and taking a week off and kind of just recharging, just because you know what you have coming up in your schedule, and just kind of understanding how that works and how your body works, and kind of listening to that and understanding if a guy comes in and says, hey, I need 3 days off or something, and being like, okay, and not being like, why would you do that type of thing.
Are you at peace with that decision? Do you ever sit at night maybe or in your office sometime and think, what if I would have done this?
It's tougher now, I guess, because all the guys I played with are getting to that spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Davis Rileys, the Nick Hardys, those guys are all kind of getting there now. But, it's a grind. Those guys are really good. I didn't feel like I ever quite got to that level that they're at personally. And that was part of the reason too, is, I would play really, really good in college, and then I would struggle a little bit in the summertime outside of the state of Arkansas. And I just thought that, maybe, I didn't try, but maybe it wasn't there quite all the way. Those guys are really good and really talented and work really hard. And I thought that the coaching route could be a better path. I've really enjoyed it. I really understand the game and recruiting and how it all works together. And, it's been really beneficial so far, being a good player and understanding how it works and that type of thing. I think that's helped me get to this point this fast, being only 27. And, so I think it all worked out well in the end. And yeah, you can look back and say, oh, look at Davis and look at these guys, but they're really good and they put in a lot of time to get to that point.
Your first head coaching job here at UCA, back in Arkansas again. What type of program do you want to build?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is a program that's respected. I think that, having guys on the team that are accountable, having guys on the team that do well in school, I think those things are really important to then build the golf side, right? I think that if you get a bunch of guys in there that are good guys and want to win and do well in all aspects, I think the guys that I've played with and been around that have done really well have kind of cared about both and done both really well. And then from there, just recruiting and scheduling and things like that, just to kind of build the program, into one that would be respected and competitive. I think that we're in a unique position. I think we're in a great conference in the ASUN, especially for golf, really good conference. It's really competitive at the top. And I think that there's a really big opportunity. Jake's done a really good job at Little Rock. He's kind of shown that it can be done. Right here, we're just down the road from them. I think that, he's done a good job in showing what can be done. And I think that, that's the goal for UCA.
There are some really good golf courses around Central Arkansas that you can take advantage of too.
Yeah, for sure. The courses, we have the 3 in Conway, all have their different unique benefits. And then we have Maumelle, and then we have the ones in Little Rock. You've got kind of the big 4 in Little Rock that are exceptional, and kind of hidden gems almost. I don't feel like, tons of people outside the state necessarily understand how good they are. The 4 that are right there in Little Rock, they're some of the best golf courses in the entire South and entire country. I think they're all different too, right? I think that that's what's really unique too, is you have these 4 courses in Little Rock that are unreal, and none of them are really similar at all. So I think that that's really unique from a development side, and for the guys to get better and play different places. I think that's a huge benefit.
Scheduling. Obviously, that's a big part of your job. You have to schedule tournaments for your guys to compete in. What is that looking like?
It's going to get there. It's already improved a lot. I think that we're going back to only 3 tournaments we played last year. So, my connections, it's funny, my best connections are in the north, right? So, I think it's a lot easier for kids from the south to transition to the north than it is the other way around. We've kind of seen that at Purdue, how it's harder for some of our guys from the north to come and play in Bermuda. So I think that that'll be really beneficial for our guys. I have, numerous connections up there from the last 5 years and 4 years playing on top of that. And, like this year, we're going to Purdue's event up there and Indiana's event and Iowa's event. So we're already kind of playing 3 up there, which will be fun. I think that the golf courses at those 3 places are exceptional. The guys will really enjoy playing those places and kind of, seeing where they stack up and things like that. And then, I think scheduling is a big piece. I met with a donor the other day and was explaining to him how it works. Like, hey, I put the schedule together, not the ASUN conference doesn't go, here's your schedule, right?
Right.
And he didn't quite understand that at the time because, he's used to basketball, football type of thing. And he was kind of like, wow, you make your own schedule. Because I was describing to him the benefits of having a home event to kind of build those other tournaments from who comes to yours and things like that. So I think the scheduling piece is really big in golf, just from the way college golf works and having to be over 500 on the men's side to qualify for postseason. But then you also have to be ranked in the top 65 as well. So there's a little bit of a game to it. I think that, the scheduling piece is big, and I think that, our schedule is only going to get better and better from here on out.
What type of player do you want to recruit to UCA?
So for me, I typically, the scores have to be there, right? Like, I need to be able to see where you stack up against other kids in the country. So, that does mean AJGAs or Southern Juniors or those types of events at the end to see kind of how it's easier to measure you to other players by that way. But the intangibles of just kind of golf swing, how you act, really, like you can learn a lot. I learned from a kid at the Bubba Conley, just kind of how they interact with their parents on the course if they're looking for a ball in the hay, and how they are in those situations. Are they nice and calm, or do they get pretty aggressive? I think that, you can learn a lot about the kids on the course and then talking to them. I think that the relationship is really important. I typically tell all the guys I recruit that, like, the relationship that is most important and the thing that matters the most is how well you get along with the head coach. I think that whether that's me or a different head coach, if you're not really getting along with that head coach, then you should think about where you're going to go rather than wondering where they play at or what their schedule is, because you're with the head coach more than your parents for the next 4 years once you go to college. So I think that relationship's really important. So I try to stay in contact with all the guys I'm talking to and understanding, what they're going through and trying to decide for them where to go is a big decision. So I think that the game's got to be there, the attitude's got to be there. And then from there, it's just working hard and seeing how hard they're working. Are they playing like 2 tournaments during the summer, or are they grinding and playing, 5A JGAs and working hard and playing well in those, or are they playing in state and winning those events? I think that that's important to win as well. So there's a balance, but I think that, just looking for good overall kids that you think are going to contribute and help your program. I think that, I'm just looking for the best guys for UCA, and it doesn't matter who they are or where they're from.
You've traveled a lot. You've played a lot of good courses. Best golf course that Austin Eoff has ever played?
That's a tough one. So I'm a little different in regards to, I'm a big fan of unique courses. So when I give my answer, some people might be like, oh, it's a different one. I haven't heard that one before, but I would say it's Bayonne Golf Club in New Jersey. It is one of a kind. I mean, it is incredibly unique, right on the water, looking towards Manhattan. No other place will ever be built like it. It's just super unique. I think that if I was to name others on my list, they're all unique, like Victoria National, like the camping course at Purdue is really unique. Bayonne, those courses are just unique, and that's what kind of appeals to me the most. It's just fun to play and cool places to play.
All right, a fantasy foursome, living or deceased, 3 other guys to play around with you. Who would you pick?
I like playing with the best. I would go with Tiger, Jack, and Rory. I think that they're the two are living, or all of them are living, but 2 only still play. I think that, I like to play with the best and kind of learn from the best and see what they do. Some of that's the player in me, some of that's the coach in me. I think you can learn from both, from being a player or a coach, from those 3 guys, and just learning what they do that makes them the best 3 players kind of all time.
That's a pretty cool answer. I like that one. Last one, Eoff, your last name. Doesn't sound like it looks. How many times do you get, how do you pronounce your last name? Eoff, Eoff, what?
Typically, I don't even get how do you pronounce it. Typically, it's just they just roll with Eoff typically, and then I'm like, that's fine. I'll take it. It's no big deal.
Coach Eoff.
Yeah.
Austin, congratulations on getting the job at UCA. Best of luck to you, and man, I'm hoping for big things for you.
Thanks. Enjoyed it.
This is Thomas Blackman with Blackman Auctions. You all know by now I'm not a good golfer, but my son loves the game and he and I have been playing more. I've got my score down to, I've quit playing a scramble on every hole. I'm using the bunker rake much less than I used to, and a lot of the time I hit my drives past the women's tee box. All of my success in golf can directly be tied to me listening to From the Short Grass. Without it, I would not be the golfer I am today. Trey, you owe me $20 for that. Trey knows golf, I know auctions. Come see us at BlackmanAuctions.com. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
With all the decisions you need to make about what to do in El Dorado, finding a place to stay is an easy one. The Haywood is uniquely positioned to make your stay one to treasure. Located in the historic Union Square district of El Dorado, the Haywood offers luxurious accommodations that feature contemporary, colorful rooms with high-quality bedding, comfortable baths with walk-in showers, and a spacious workspace with stylish plantation shutters that are unique additions to the stunning decor in a non-smoking environment. Make the Haywood your home away from home the next time you visit El Dorado.
At Stevens, our philosophy is to invest every dollar as if it were our own, to seize opportunity, to anticipate rather than react, to deliver constant focus in an ever-changing world, and to pursue the objectives of our clients in order to help them reach their financial goals. A proven history of helping companies and individuals. Stevens, member NYSE, SIPC. Welcome back to this edition of From the Short Grass. I need to thank one of our great sponsors, Blackman Auctions. Thomas Blackman, the gang over there at Blackman Auctions, they know auctions. Find them on the web, blackmanauctions.com. Since 1938, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions. You can find their full list of upcoming auctions on their website, blackmanauctions.com. The PGA Tour recently released their upcoming schedule for their next season. They also increased the total purse amount that members of the PGA Tour will be playing for. We're going to dive into that in our next episode here on From the Short Grass when we have a little bit more time. I wanted to bring you the full interview with Austin Eoff and didn't want to cut anything out of it. I think he's a very bright young head coach, and there are big things ahead for UCA, I believe, when it comes to men's golf. That will do it for us this week. Remember, when you find your ball mark on the green, fix it and a couple of more, and I hope to see you soon from the short grass.
You've been listening to From the Short Grass, a weekly podcast dedicated to the game of golf. This has been a presentation of the Buzz Radio Network.